Hello, I'm Michael Joyce, and I'm the owner of Hargrave Yachts in Fort Lauderdale, and we're the #1 personalized luxury yacht builder in the world. And what personalized means is we're trying to pick some word other than custom, because every builder in the world is now using the word custom, even if they're the production builder. And what we do that's so different is we make the changes that for some owners makes all the difference in the world. It could be something as simple as the height inside the boat. We have customers that are 6'8", 7 foot, and they actually want to have clearance as they go through doorways. That's a hard change for any production builder to make. And you get into more exotic changes. We had one customer, Ed Swenson, and for his boat, he was in a wheelchair, and he wanted full wheelchair access to his boat to all 3 levels, and he wanted to be able to get on and off the boat himself without any assistance. So if you haven't tried to engineer something like that, trust me, it's something that belonged in Popular Mechanics and it worked great. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you is if you're trying to put it in a soundbite, generally speaking, whoever you're looking at, we're custom and they're not. And that's not a knock on somebody else. It wasn't meant to be. If you look at the companies that we compete against here in the US, brands like Westport, Lazara, Hatteras, I mean, all of them are good boats. And all of them offer something different, and that's why they do so well. But the client who buys from us tends to be a guy who comes to us and says, you know, I like this on the Westport, and I sure like this on the Hatteras, and the Lazara, I thought this was fantastic. Is there some way to put all that together? That's what custom building's all about. I guess if you watch television at all or read the newspaper, you may have heard that 2009 was a difficult year for an awful lot of people in our society. And I don't mean to laugh because some people are in desperate trouble. And a lot of our competitors were in that shape. I mean, there's a long list of people that hit the wall and went bankrupt. But for our company, we have no debt, and we're a small family business, and we're a custom builder. And one of the advantages custom builders have over production builders is when the market stops on new orders, they still got a huge backlog. So knock on wood, we had a good year last year. I mean, this boat is a perfect example. I mean, we've been delivering boats all year, which not only solve our obvious business and cash flow problems, but more importantly, they help to balance out the production at a boatyard. And one of the questions I've been asked more frequently just in the last 30 days is people are now conceding maybe it ought to be a possibility to buy or order a new boat. They say, when do you think I should buy? And I feel like a stockbroker. You know, you can't time the market. But I can tell you this, because I've been doing this for probably 45 years. I can tell you one thing, that there will never be a better time than there is right now to order a boat. And I don't mean our boat, I mean any boat. And let me tell you why. There's 3 primary reasons. Number one, prices will never be lower. Most of the equipment companies have rolled back prices. Most of them have at least held the line. They haven't raised a price in 2 years. Why bother? Because nobody's going to buy it anyhow. And if you think some boatyard in the world is thinking, how are we going to make a profit this year? Trust me, that's not even in the conversation. All they're trying to do is say, how do we get orders and get our factory up and running full blast? So from a price point of view, couldn't possibly be better. I think the second reason, the more I think about it, I've built during slumps. I mean, I've been through, we had the gas shortage, we had the luxury tax, all of those things hammered the boat business. And those were great times to be building custom yachts. And the reason is, all of the backlog of orders is being built. And when the new orders come, there isn't a lot of competition. So when it comes time to making things perfect, trust me, nobody's in a rush. Nobody's in a hurry to get the job done because they're not trying to. So what you'll find is the boats that come out in those cycles normally are benchmark products, not only for Hargrave, but for all the custom builders. And the third reason, and I know custom owners say, oh, I don't care about resale. Trust me, everybody cares about resale. There isn't a better time to build a boat than right now for that reason alone. Because if you look back over the history of our industry at all those major slumps, when you see what happened during the luxury tax, it shut everybody down. And those few people, and I mean the few, that decided to build a boat then, when they used that boat 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it was, and they put it on the market, guess how much competition they had? 0, and I mean 0. So those people, whatever you build right now, if you don't get your money back, shame on you, and if you make some money, you deserve it. Because I can tell you one thing, it's a law of supply and demand, and the time to buy is when nobody's buying, and the time to sell is when everybody's buying. So if you want my opinion on timing the market, whatever you're going to do it now, and I hope you do it with Hargrave. We're out here today on Victoriano. It's 5 o'clock. Obviously, all the worker bees have gone home for the day. They start early. But what we're doing is we're commissioning the boat. The boat was just unloaded probably 4 days ago. And I'm amazed that every time these boats come in, they just continue to get better and better and easier to deliver. And what we do is there's a process we go through where we just keep refining and checking and double checking and triple checking so that when we do turn the boat over to the owner, they have zero problems. And if you ask any owner at all, they'll tell you when we deliver a boat, it is delivered right. And this boat particularly is a special boat because the guy who's building it has built 4 boats with us. And if you think that's normal, it's not. I mean, in the same size, same general bandwidth. And the reason people do it, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, it's fun. The people that build boats tend to be creative by nature. And to put all that time and effort into every small detail. This arm you're looking at right here, that didn't come out of some mold by accident. He decided that's how wide that mold's going to be. And it's going to be exactly this height from the floor, not an inch less, not an inch more. So when you're talking about custom, I mean, you really have complete control over the entire experience. And while for a first-time owner it may seem overwhelming, once the guy's built his first boat, the next time they basically push the designer out of the way and start designing it themselves. So I think if I could leave you with one message as you look at our videos, I want you to know whatever you're thinking about, that's what we build. This is not about, when you're talking about some other builder, an Azimuth, Ferretti, I mean, Hatteras, doesn't matter who it is. What you're looking at is somebody's vision in marketing that says, this is what'll sell. And when you look at a Hargrave, that's the owner. I mean, if you think it's a great idea, that's the owner, not us. And if you think it's a bad idea, that's probably the idea he took from us. So don't, I guess if you've never been on a Hargrave, I can tell you one thing. You can go look at every boat at a boat show, and when you get on a Hargrave, I guarantee you'll see what the difference is. Guaranteed.